Say, O people, praise ye God for its manifestation. For verily it is the most great favor upon you, and the most perfect blessing upon you. And through him every moldering bone is quickened. Whosoever turns to him hath surely turned unto God, and whosoever turneth away from him hath turned away from my beauty, denied my proof, and is of those who transgress. Verily, he is the remembrance of God amongst you, and his trust within you, and his manifestation unto you, and his appearance among the servants who are nigh. Thus have I been commanded to convey to you the message of God, your Creator. And I have delivered to you that which I was commanded. Whereupon thereunto testifieth God, then his angels, then his messengers, and then his holy servants.
One evening after sunset, Khan came in great enthusiasm and excitement to our room. "Do you remember," he asked, "that Abdul-Baha said he would answer all the letters we brought to him from America before we left?" "Yes, I do." "Then come quickly. It is too wonderful. The master is pacing to and fro in his sitting room. I cannot see the secretary, and he is replying to those letters as if he had known the inmost secret of the writers' hearts from the cradle. Yet he has never met nor seen one of them. You can see him from the corridor beyond the little room, each time he passes the open doorway." So, Rahim being peacefully asleep, I returned with Khan to his post outside the doorway which led to Abdul-Baha's long room, with its many windows looking over the Bay of Arfat to the Mediterranean beyond. I heard the dear master's beautiful voice, and then saw him as he strode by the doorway of his lighted room. We were in the dark, looking through the small darkened antechamber. I recall how never at the daily luncheon table, and never at the late evening dinner, and never at any time had I satisfied my longing to gaze more fully upon the master's beautiful, noble, and spiritual face. I used to glance admiringly at the snowy scarf-enfolded headdress, and at the beautiful silver-white hair falling softly to the shoulders, and at the lofty arch of his forehead, at the expression of his eyes, indescribable in human language. Now they seemed blue, and now brown, and again partly of each color, or hazel, but always illumined, loving, and understanding, sometimes raised in holy reverence and silent prayer, sometimes gently smiling, but always kingly and supreme. Then I could never get my fill, so to speak, of the divine beauty of the lower part of his face. It expressed only a perfect sweetness, a heavenly divine perfection of spirituality, a gentleness, a holy patience, no sign whatsoever in lines or expression of the lower traits of human nature, only a divine perfectness. It was astounding. I'd never seen a face like it. Selfless. The stamp of suffering upon it. Alas for humanity which crucifies God's messengers. So I thought exultingly, Now if only the Master would pause a moment in his doorway. As I am here in the dark, I could look upon his face to my heart's content, and no one would notice me. Instantly the Master stopped in his doorway. Silhouetted against the light, I clearly saw him in his beauty, and I began a sort of visual devouring of that wonderful face. I looked, and I looked, and I looked. After a few moments, Abdul-Baha withdrew and resumed his pacing to and fro in revelation of the tablets. After watching for a while, half timorously, the thought arose in my heart, oh, if only he would stop once more in the doorway. At once the Master stood in the doorway, silent, and seemed to be looking upward toward the stars. Now I will look, I thought in breathless joy. This time as I gazed silently upon that matchless face, a golden light shone forth from his entire figure. This light intensified and intensified as I looked and looked until I began almost to be afraid. I said to myself, however bright it grows, I am going to keep my eyes open. What a wonderful sight! What a miraculous opportunity! The outline of light grew more and more intense, yet I looked and looked until it seemed to me I must fall upon my knees. Just as it seemed I could no longer bear such a vision, the Master withdrew. Take me to my room, I said weakly, much overcome, to Khan. I've just seen the transfiguration upon the mount.
To live the life is to be as one soul in many bodies. For the more we love each other, the nearer we shall be to God. But to know that our love, our unity, our obedience must not be by confession, but of reality. Inhale the fragrances of the Rizwan from his roses, and be not of those who are deprived. Appreciate the bounty of God upon you, and be not veiled therefrom. And verily, we have sent him forth in the temple of man. Thus praise ye the Lord, the originator of whatsoever he willeth, through his wise and inviolable command.